guys, what's up? Thank you so much for watching and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Alyssa. What's up? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to me, and also give this video a thumbs up and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I post new content. So today's video is going to be much different than what I typically film. It's going to be a little bit more on the personal side. Actually, it's going to be super personal. So if you don't really like watching personal videos and you feel awkward, then just click out of this. But I really feel like it's going to be good for anybody that struggles with anxiety, just to know that you're not alone and that other people do deal with it. For those of you that don't struggle with anxiety, it's also good for you to listen to my story and my experience to get a better idea of what anxiety really is. When I was going through my panic attacks, I wish that I would have had a video like this to watch, just to know that, like, it's okay, like, I'm okay, I'm not dying, other people struggle with this, and it's gonna be fine. Just hoping that with this video I'm able to help other people that have questions or that are struggling with it. I think I've always had anxiety, but I never really knew what it was. I've always been like a high stress level person. The number one thing that you want to do and think about when you do have anxiety is you need to trace back to what really caused that anxiety and what makes you feel anxious, like what triggers it, and where that like general anxiety came from to make it build up to these panic attacks. So when I first moved to California, we moved here in May of 2015, and in July 5th, 2015, I ended up getting a debilitating migraine to the point where I couldn't see anything. I was super confused. I was discombobulated. I didn't know what was going on. I literally thought I was dying. I actually went to the hospital because it was so bad. The doctors didn't really know why I got a migraine. They weren't really concerned, which was super annoying. After the hospital incident, I had gotten like 4 migraines after that. I just kind of did the research myself, and long story short, I realized that my birth control was the reason for these really debilitating migraines. I ended up getting a migraine of November of last year, so November 2017, and it freaked me out because I was like, oh, I thought my birth control was the reason that I was getting these migraines. Like, why am I getting this migraine out of nowhere? I was with a client, I was doing her hair, and I felt it coming. It starts in my neck, and then I get like these black dots everywhere, and then it's like a light headache. And then I get super confused, and then the really painful migraine comes, and then I start blacking out altogether. So I told my client, I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to stop doing your hair for a second because I'm getting a really bad migraine and I'm about to black out. It freaked me out and almost created like a phobia that every time I went to a client's house, I would get a migraine, and I was terrified. It was so embarrassing. I freaked out every time I had a client, to the point where I was like having panic attacks before I would go inside a client's house, because I'm like, oh my gosh, if I have another migraine, I'm gonna black out in front of them. And I wasn't able to take clients for a few months actually. And then I got to the point where my panic attacks were so bad that they weren't just like when I would go and do a client, it was starting to be like panic attacks every time I went out in public, because I was scared I was going to get a migraine and like black out in front of people. And then my panic attacks were causing me to be dizzy and feel like I was going to faint. So then I was scared to go in public because I was scared that I was going to get a panic attack and faint in front of people. And it's just like a ball rolling down a hill. Like, you cannot stop it. It's like one thing after the other. Anxiety is just a really, really evil thing. And my anxiety got so bad that I couldn't go to a grocery store for like 3 weeks. And even after the 3 weeks, it took a while for me to even feel comfortable in a grocery store. Luckily, I had Luke that I could lean on, and he helped me through it so much. At first, he didn't really understand anything about anxiety, which was really frustrating. I mean, I can't blame him at all, but it was a little frustrating because in his mind, he was like, well, just, just get over it. Like, just, it's fine. Like, you're fine. It's not that easy. Like, people that have anxiety know, like, it's not easy. You can't just press a button and it's going to turn off. And you can't tell your mind, like, no, I need to stop. Like, I'm fine. I mean, you can do that and it helps a little bit, but, like, for me at least, I can't just turn off an anxiety attack. And anxiety attacks, they also cause you to physically feel sick. So I went to the doctor many times over the last couple years thinking that something was wrong with my brain because I kept having dizzy spells. Well, those dizzy spells were from my anxiety and I didn't know it. I got blood tests, like any kind of blood test that you can possibly think of, I got done. They all came back fine. It's kind of hard to come to the realization that everything that you've physically been feeling is all mental. It's all in your mind. I truly believed that there was something wrong, which there was. It's just a chemical imbalance in my brain. I think what people need to realize is that anxiety is not something that you can just turn off. It's something that you have to work through. It takes time and it's not gonna be fixed overnight. It may never be fixed. You may struggle with it your whole life, or you may overcome it in some type of way. And if you do, God bless you, because I wish that upon everyone. So my dad was like, it's just crazy to me, someone that doesn't have anxiety, to think like someone like you has anxiety who travels all the time, who lives in California in beautiful weather, with tons of different things to do, has a great family life, great fiance. I'm blessed. I am so blessed. But like, that doesn't have anything to do with it. Not always your lifestyle that is causing your anxiety. Like, literally, you can get anxiety from the littlest thing, and you may not even know what that is. It's a lot bigger than what people realize. I've had to overcome my anxiety and I'm still working on it. And to be honest with you, I could not do it on my own. So I unfortunately had to start taking medication for my anxiety because I couldn't overcome it on my own, and that's okay. I'm planning on getting off the medication within a year. I'm just trying to reset my brain chemistry, and it may come back later on in life, but at least then I'll know and have a better idea of how to cope with it. For me, I had to, listen to podcasts. I had to read books about anxiety and how to overcome it. I read my Bible. I prayed a lot more. And just talking to family really helps. Talking about it is a huge part of any mental illness. When you keep it in, it makes you feel so much more alone. And if you keep it in, then you don't realize who else is struggling with it. When you start talking about it, then that's when you realize, oh, I'm like totally not the only person that's dealing with this. Kept talking about it with certain people and realized that over half of my friends deal with the same thing that I deal with. Everybody's anxiety is a little bit different, and also everybody deals with their anxiety differently. And so when you talk about it and see how everyone else is dealing with it, then you can kind of take those into your own hands. Anxiety is the #1 mental illness in the United States. And it affects 40 million Americans in the United States, which is crazy, crazy sad. It literally takes so much out of you. You need people to talk to. It can cause you to get into a deep depression, to where you feel alone, to where you feel like you can't do this anymore. And it literally breaks my heart. Kids are taking their own lives because of anxiety and depression, and it's just so sad. I just told myself from the very beginning that I was never gonna let myself get to a place where I felt alone, like really, really alone. I can't imagine those of you that struggle with this, that don't feel like they don't have anybody. And I just want to let you guys know that I am always, always here if anybody wants to talk about their anxiety or their depression, or if they just want just a friend. Like, I am always here for you guys, and this is why I started this channel, because I love opening up with you guys, and I love being personal and just sharing my life with you guys, hoping that it helps other people. I hope this video helped you guys, and like I said, I am not completely out of the clear with this anxiety situation, but I feel like I have a little bit of more of a grasp on it than I did before when I first filmed a video like this. I hope it helps you guys to feel not so alone. A lot of people deal with this. Like I said, 40 million of us Americans deal with it. Anyway, I hope this helped you guys. I love you all. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I'm so happy to be growing my channel, and I appreciate all my new subscribers and all my old subscribers from day one. I love you all, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.